This is episode number 304 of the Homeowner Show. Well, whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowner Show. We are so glad that you could join us for another live episode here in the studio. How you doing, Kev?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm messing with stuff over here, so...
Mess away, my friend.
Yeah, just working on our, making sure we look good
Cool.
for all the people out there.
I like looking good.
And I'm curious to know, did you watch the fight?
Well, somebody's not feeling good after that one. That's for sure.
I want to know if you saw what I feel like every person our age, especially every male our age,
for sure,
wanted to know whether or not
the old guy still had it.
Whether or not Tyson had something left in the tank, or if this was all just a show.
Yeah, spoiler alert, he didn't.
No,
He had 2 rounds of juice, and that was about it.
Yeah, but I don't even know.
He won the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, he did.
And like look, when he came out that first round, there was a couple times where I was like, "Oh, that looks like Tyson."
Yeah, it did.
He went after him, and I was like, "Okay, he's ready to go."
Yeah.
And then he ran out of gas.
Yeah, so do you think that's what it was? Do you think he just ran out of gas, or do you think it was staged?
No, I think he ran out of gas.
Okay.
I think he ran. I can't imagine a scenario where Tyson's going to agree to a staged fight. I can look at a scenario and see where
Paul would.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No question.
The problem I have is that whenever you watch any of the and I understand anything that's on social media is what it is whenever it comes to the training stuff. But when I saw like Tyson training, dude was still fast.
Yeah.
Like Tyson fast, he was always just so stinking fast. You couldn't catch up with him.
No.
And he just seemed slow all night to me. Like even the first round or two, there was a couple times
There was a couple times you saw
where
him pop.
Yeah. And then one time specifically where he kind of came in with the left and Paul went down, dropped his gloves, and normal Tyson comes up and just lays him out with his right hand.
Right.
Uppercut, right hand, he's gone.
Yeah.
But that was early and it didn't happen. So there's parts of me that was like, okay, I didn't get it. I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
But and whenever it was, 8 2-minute rounds instead of 10 3-minute rounds, I felt like, I don't know. I didn't love it. I didn't love it.
I think that was a concession on Paul's part in order to make the fight happen, because I think
I'm sure.
Look, he's 58 years old.
Oh, I know.
3-minute rounds.
Oh, that's a long round.
That seems like an eternity.
And the commentators were like, dude, I don't like his legs.
No,
I don't like his legs.
That's right.
I do not like his legs
look,
right now.
You were one of the privileged few that actually got to watch the thing.
Oh, I know.
There's so many people pissed off at Netflix.
That's a thing too. And which interesting because our friend Eric was like, man, I think if you had faster internet speeds, but I'll tell you,
I've got crazy fast internet.
I know a lot of people that have really, really good fast internet, and it wasn't that. I think that they were just completely overloaded.
Oh, big time.
And were not prepared.
I don't think they were prepared.
No.
I don't think they were ready for the moment.
No.
To be fair, neither were the fighters.
No. The best fight of the night was the 2 girls.
The 2 girls. That was a slobber knocker.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was a good fight.
Did you see their previous fight?
I had not, no.
Oh, man.
To be fair, I'm usually, even if it's if you told me the 2 boxers' names, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
The only reason I was here to see Tyson.
Oh, of course.
That was the only reason
Everyone
I was there.
was.
And it was I really hope he just knocks the ever-living snot out of Jake Paul.
Well, yeah, me too, man.
Somebody needs to.
So the only reason I saw the girls the last time was because I was waiting for another fight, whatever the next fight was. Still.
Okay.
And I saw them, and it was a dang good match. And
the 2 girls are the guys that you were waiting to watch?
No, the 2 girls.
The 2 girls. Because it's the third time they fought, right?
It is. And they were good then. And so whenever I saw that they were on the docket again, I was like, okay, docket's the wrong word. The card. When I saw them on the card, I was like, okay, this probably be good, and it was. It was really good. But then Yeah.
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
Well,
So-
here's what I'll tell you: is I was disappointed. Like there was all this hype,
It was a ton of hype.
a ton of hype.
Yeah.
And not only that, like I know a lot of people are talking about how like Jake Paul, like it was really cool of him to like back off
Well,
at the end. And,
Yeah.
and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But like overall disappointment.
yeah.
Massive disappointment.
Yeah.
But I will then add on to that an unpopular opinion.
Okay, bring it.
So the Deadpool Wolverine movie is now on Disney Plus,
Which I have not seen yet.
and I didn't go watch it in the theaters.
Yeah. Me either.
I thought it was terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was just stupid.
Yeah, because that is an unpopular opinion because most people loved it.
Most people, and I get
Yeah.
why they loved it. Like honestly, the reason they love it is because there's a lot of nostalgia,
Sure.
and like he even like I get the whole fourth wall Deadpool thing. I just thought it was dumb.
Yeah, so let me ask this question because again, and I've not seen it, and
Uh-huh.
I don't know that a spoiler would even be possible. But, is it like a lot of Marvel movies right now where it's just kind of like that's not what I came here to find? Like,
No, I think-
because
I
a
think
lot
it-
of Marvel recently has kind of gone that way.
I think if you're a fan of Deadpool, you're gonna like it.
Okay.
I think if you, but like a lot of it was just gratuitous to me,
Uh-huh.
and just like over the top. Which again, like I think
That's
that's
Deadpool.
that's a Deadpool thing.
It is.
But I also thought that the story was stupid.
Okay.
And
I mean, because you saw Wolverine, right?
Which
like the
one?
movie Wolverine, like his like the prequel basically of like his backstory,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Like, I've not seen the one you're talking about, but I
Uh-huh.
look at that and I'm like, that's the movie I want. Like I wanted. It was a lot of blood. It was a lot of like intense.
Are you talking about this one, the Deadpool Wolverine?
No, because I never saw that one. I'm talking about the like his backstory movie.
Okay. But have
And-
you
and
seen Logan?
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
I thought that was the best one.
Yeah, it was really good too. My point is though, if you bring Wolverine then in like after seeing that backstory,
Uh-huh.
and now you bring him into this just kind of silly world of Deadpool,
Right.
And again, I don't know what it's like. This is why I didn't go see it in the theater because I'm
Uh-huh.
like that doesn't to me something's gonna be off. But I don't know.
It really plays into the whole multiverse thing.
Oh yeah, everything's that right now. I
And-
mean,
and-
everything in Marvel's that.
So like I mean just so like the villain of the movie is Charles Xavier's unknown twin sister.
Oh, where'd she come from?
Exactly. It's just like one, just stupid right
Yeah.
from the get go.
Did anyone know that he had a twin sister?
No.
You said unknown, but it's like
I mean but that's how they explain her in the movie. Yeah, it's just like and then like the big fight scene at the end is like him fighting 200 other Deadpools from like other dimensions,
oh,
and it's just
dumb.
stupid. And like
Yeah.
the whole movie is them like quipping at each other till they get so pissed off they just kill each other, even though like they haven't figured out yet that they can't kill each other because they just heal, and so they just really
Yeah.
like just like bloodying the ever living bejesus out of one another. It just gets old.
Yeah,
So I mean, like here's what I'll say: the cameos were fun.
sure, I believe that.
The cameos were super fun, and like those actually made more sense than the entirety of the film
That makes sense.
put together. So yeah, I didn't enjoy it,
Okay,
and it's just
so since we're talking movies, real quick,
okay.
do you remember seeing a trailer for a baseball movie, Little League baseball movie called "You Gotta Believe"?
No,
Okay,
to be fair,
So-
I don't really have like TV or
sure,
Anything like
Well,
that, so-
I saw a commercial during like baseball season.
right.
Right. So, I I thought, man, this looks like a really good movie. It's about this little league team from Fort Worth that is like a nothing of a team, and they got basically thrown into playing All Stars. And they should never have been in All Stars to begin with because
Okay.
they weren't any good during the regular season. And then they wound up going to the championship game in the Little League World Series.
World Series. Okay.
And the whole I'm gonna give a little bit away. So if you, spoiler alert, if you want to watch this movie that came out in August, this is middle of November, and you haven't seen it, then fast forward about 30 seconds. Because so the whole thing is the main coach winds up with cancer. And his son plays on the team because that's the way Little League works. His son plays on the team, and he winds up getting cancer really bad. And at the end, like, they lose the World Series and he dies.
Oh, gosh.
That's the end of the movie.
That's the end of the movie.
That's it. And
what do we learn from this?
right, like my kids, I'm not kidding. We watch this so we do movie night every Friday night. I make pizza from scratch. It's phenomenal. And then we watch a movie.
Right.
And so my son had been wanting to see this. It's a Little League. It's right up his alley.
Yeah.
He just cried all night. He literally just cried all night. And the next morning, he came and got in bed with us crying.
Oh, jeez.
Like, he was just devastated because are you going to get cancer and die? Like, I'm like,
I was gonna say that could have gone one of two ways. He could have cried, or he could have asked you to coach.
right. Want to be my coach? Not anymore. But anyway, I was just like, we got done with the movie. We're all just sitting there. You know how you've seen a movie and, like, I don't know. You remember? Okay, you remember whenever you're sitting in the movie theater and you're watching The Passion of the Christ with, like, every other church member that you're with.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, everyone just doesn't move
Right.
for like 30 minutes. And you're all just sitting there like, dang. That's how we were all sitting on the couch going, what do we do now? It was the weirdest. Anyway, the movie itself was well done. And, if it didn't end the way it ended, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we watched that movie recently. But I'll tell you, my favorite thing that we've been doing recently is when it's my turn to pick the movie. Oh, I'm going old school.
Oh, okay.
But like old school Disney.
Okay. So like there's people that could take that the sentence that you just said, I'm going old school, which could mean the Will Ferrell movie Old School.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is hilarious.
It is hilarious,
and I'm like,
but no.
Everyone's like, why would you watch that with your children?
No. Old school, like when it's my turn to pick, I'm showing them old Disney movies.
Yeah, which could also make your kid cry because you could be
Yes.
watching Old Yeller.
Well, we haven't watched that one yet.
Oh, you got to pull that Band-Aid
but
off.
at some point we will. But we've been watching stuff like The Strongest Man in the World.
Okay.
The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
There you go.
The Monkey's Uncle. We watched Lieutenant Robinson Crusoe, USN.
Come on, you got to throw like Nutty Professor, That Darn Cat.
So That Darn Cat's coming. The Nutty Professor we haven't done yet, but we have done The Absent-Minded Professor.
Absent-Minded Professor. Thank you.
Yeah. So like that's the one I think you were talking about.
It is, yeah.
Not the Nutty Professor,
Which
with
is Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Don't watch that with your children.
Yeah, no, probably not yet.
I think it's the same premise, but
yeah. Well, that's Flubber. Flubber was the same premise. So
that's the
Absent-Minded
Robin
Professor-
Williams one, right?
Yeah, and then they had Son of Flubber, which was the follow up. But like the Ghost of Mr. Chicken, like these are
Don Knotts.
Yes, like these are movies that we've been watching. The $1 Million Duck. Like, it's been really fun to show them. And what's really hilarious is my wife has not seen any of these movies. So everybody but me is sitting there watching. And my kids are loving it. They're absolutely loving these old, stupid movies that have all the same characters in them.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, they're all the same actors.
So we went through a slew of the ones from the 80s.
Okay.
Which, like Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, yeah.
What's the one where the kid has the imaginary friend that's the secret agent? It's all filmed in San Antonio too.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not a Disney movie though.
Okay.
It
doesn't sound familiar.
The kid's name is Davy.
Davy. Oh man,
That's gonna bug me.
all right. Well, I'm gonna look it up. Well,
So okay, while you're looking it up, since you mentioned Passion of the Christ, have I told you my fun factoid about myself with that movie?
no.
So I got to watch that with Mel Gibson.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
before it ever hit theaters. At the time, I was a young adults pastor at a church, and I don't know. Like I think I was like just one of the only guys doing that, like in the country, at the time. Like I was one of the few. Like I'm not saying like I was the only one, but like I was one of like a few people that had like ministries that were actually doing stuff. And I got this invitation in the mail to go watch it with Mel out at Saddleback Church in California.
Interesting.
And dude, I was not married, and I was poor,
Okay, of course.
and I was like, like I had the ticket to go see the movie, but I had to get to California.
Yeah.
And so I kind of talked it over with my folks, and I was like, look, I don't know that I'm ever going to get to do something like this ever again.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into debt over this.
Do what I gotta do.
Yeah. So I was like, so I bought my ticket. I stayed in a cheap motel.
Nice.
And
By yourself?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Rented a car.
Oh my
I kind of
goodness.
drove the coastline for a couple of days.
That sounds fun.
I was like, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go.
What year was that?
Oh, geez. Whatever.
04?
It was the year before The Passion came out.
Maybe 03 then.
No, it had to have been like 04. It had to
Okay.
have been 04.
Okay,
'cause
04 maybe.
I got out of college in 03.
Yeah. Okay.
It
Interesting.
was like 04, 05, somewhere in there. But anyway, it was crazy, man. Like so the movie, he had the whole movie done, but it had no music.
Oh.
And so that's how we watched it.
Oh, that sounds even weirder.
It was weird.
Like not in like a. I mean, the whole movie had its vibe to it.
Yes.
But with no music.
No music.
Because there's not really any talking.
I mean, there is.
It is, but it's there's not a lot.
But it wasn't in English.
No, exactly.
And so and he really wanted us to give like feedback.
Okay.
Who's the senior pastor out at Saddleback?
Rick Warren.
Rick Warren.
Yeah.
So it was like hosted by Rick Warren and Mel Gibson.
Interesting.
And there was probably like 200 or 300 of us
Yeah.
that were like in the theater together, and we got to do like Q&A afterwards.
That's
with
cool.
him. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's like, when do I get to do that again?
No, you don't.
So
No, you
yeah, one
don't.
of those weird experiences that I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like,
That's cool.
I got to watch it before anybody else did.
All right. Well, so I did get the changing gear again. I did get the name Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, because it's based off like a video game.
I
There's
never
a
watched it.
It's such a good. Like it's a little scary in some
Okay.
in some spots.
Okay.
But like a great 80s flick.
Huh.
And it's got Dabney.
Hmm.
Dabney.
Don't know.
I think it's.
Let's see. I'm looking up
He's the imaginary friend, but he also plays his dad,
the IMDb. Dabney Coleman.
Dabney Coleman.
Yeah.
Great character actor.
Interesting.
Super fun film. But just odd that it was filmed in San Antonio.
Yeah. Yeah, that is odd.
But like there's scenes in it. Like there's a lot of scenes on the Riverwalk in that movie.
That's cool. Okay. Well, now I need to go look at it.
Yeah, it's a super cool movie. And I think is that the same kid as Flight of the Navigator?
That's why I was just about to look. Because that's another one of those movies that's like, yeah.
That's one I've watched.
He
with
was in
Mike.
E.T.
E.T.
Legends of the Fall.
Oh, that's
Henry Thomas.
Henry Thomas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is his name.
dude, he's
Yeah.
the guy that gets waxed in Legends of the Fall.
Oh, yes, he does.
So, but he's Elliot
Yeah.
in E.T.
Yeah, he is.
That's where I know him from.
Yep.
So, all right. So
Yeah.
anyway, tonight we're doing Bag of Nut.
We are. Yeah.
But two things real quick. One, this might be coming up soon.
Yeah. I literally, whenever you were, go ahead and show that to the camera. Whenever I came into the studio, I saw that sitting on the table here.
Yeah, so we got this. We're going to test drive it. It is the cheapest smart thermostat on Amazon right now.
Okay.
It is $39.
What?
And it does
What kind of reviews does it get?
look, varied.
Okay.
It has its own app. But
go
it does pretty much everything the Ecobee does.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, one of my favorite things about the Ecobee is the auto setting.
Right.
Because not all
thermostats have an auto setting anymore.
Not only do they not all have an auto setting, many of them don't have a setting for auto where you can set both temperature points.
Right.
So like many auto settings is like put it on 72 or put it on 70 or whatever, and it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold, it's going to
Right.
get to 70. But that's not the way I want my house.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's cold outside, I want my house somewhere between 68 and
Yeah, you get to set a
70.
range on the Ecobee.
Right, you can do 68 for cold and 72 for hot if
Right.
you want. But it'll never get in between those two numbers, but it's one of my favorite settings about the Ecobee.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you're right. Not a lot of thermostats even have that anymore.
Right.
In fact, this one that we have in the studio doesn't do that, and it's a mini split.
Right.
It's something it should have.
Well, yeah. I mean, to me, it seems very reasonable to have that sort of functionality, but
Right.
but no, they don't have it. So what I'm looking at, I just now went and looked at it. It's $40.
Yeah, $39.99, I think.
Yeah, it's 20% off, and there's a $10 coupon, so it's actually cheaper than that.
Yeah.
It looks like, but
part of why I got it.
yeah, but it's got it's got 95 ratings and 4.2 stars.
Yeah, it's not.
That's actually not bad.
It's not bad.
And it's got a C-wire. It's got it's got everything you need.
Got everything you need.
So
So we're gonna give it a run.
okay,
See what
where
see
are
what
you
it's like.
putting it?
We're gonna put it in the house.
Okay,
Yeah. We got a Honeywell in there right now. We're not super happy with it. And
what happened to your Ecobee?
it broke.
Oh,
It died.
okay.
I mean, like I don't want to be like I like the Ecobee and I don't
Sure.
want to like speak ill of it, but that's
But
what
you
happened.
had it.
I
You
had
had
it.
it.
The only thing that this one doesn't do that I've noticed so far that the Ecobee can do is the Ecobee has like the Alexa.
Oh yeah, the new
inter-
ones do.
Yeah, it has like you could just talk to the
Right.
thermostat.
Yeah.
So this one doesn't have that, but I think it will. You can integrate it
Okay.
with
With
the
an
whole
Alexa.
Amazon system.
Okay.
So anyway, so we got that, and then I also want to give a shout out to my buddy Dave Shannon because that's where we were at tonight.
Yeah.
At the Man Stuff.
Looked fun.
So we actually got to hang out with a game warden from Montgomery County. He brought a couple roadkill deer.
Yeah.
And we were teaching men of all ages how to dress a deer, how to break it down, how to skin it.
Yeah.
I took my son. It's the first time he's ever gotten to do that, which was great. I mean,
Sure.
because there's guys that know way more than I am showing them how to do it.
Right.
And I got some really cool video. I sent you one before that we got the
Yeah.
show started.
Yeah.
It's just him just peeling the skin off a deer.
It's awesome.
And it's just good life skills.
Yeah, you need to know how to do that.
I mean, and like what was funny is on the way there, he's like, I don't want to go. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I don't know, this is gross.
Well,
And I'm like, well, one, you've never done it.
right.
Two, but I'm like, dude, like, again, this isn't something that needs to be your thing. It's like, look, learn a new skill.
Sure.
And as soon as we got there, man, his buddies were there.
So he got into it.
Oh, he got into it so quick.
Yeah.
And like the whole gross one, his cousin was there, and his cousin was super grossed out. And I think he had more fun peeling the deer skin
Yeah.
to gross out his cousin
Yeah.
than,
It's worth it.
than anything. And
Love
by the end, he not to like gross people out, but he had like the severed deer head in his hand.
awesome.
And he was like,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, can I take that home? And can I take this home? So
Yeah.
I got like 2 quarters of deer.
Cool.
And what was cool, man, is the game warden was there showing everybody how to dress the deer
Yeah.
and break them down, and then was signing warden tags so
Really?
people could take because
Because otherwise,
you can get in trouble for having that deer meat, but like
Right.
if the warden signs off on it, that way, like if I wanted to, I could take what I have to a processor.
Sure.
And I think I have it here in my pocket. So what you get is it's a donation tag
oh really?
from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department.
Okay.
So, and he just signs off on it, the date, and what
Cool.
all happened.
Cool.
So
When we when I was born, we lived in Central Texas, and my dad would go kill his limit every year, and that was our food. I
Yeah.
mean, we would my dad would string them up. He would do the whole thing, cut them up. My mom and dad would process the entire deer
oh wow,
and shove it into a freezer.
Mm-hmm.
They did all of it, and because we didn't have any money and we were poor. I didn't know we were poor, but we were poor.
yeah,
And my mom didn't work. My dad was a preacher and
Mm-hmm.
didn't make any money. And in fact, he drove.
you got the
school
makings of a
buses.
good country song, right?
You're not wrong. But he drove school buses in the afternoons just to kind of help subsidize a little bit. But he'd go kill his limit, and we had friends who would people that went to church with us who had a deer lease and like, come on out, and didn't charge us for it. So, I mean, yeah, that's what they did. And we would cut it all up, process it, and we just had paper wraps of deer shoved in our freezer. It was awesome. Man, I grew up on that stuff.
That's good meat, man.
It's great meat. It's great meat. My mom knew how to cook it. So
well, that's the thing, man.
it is. I mean, a lot of people that have had venison, they're like, oh, it's gamey. Well, you're used to a cow. You're used to beef.
That's not the same thing.
A chicken or something. But you soak it or you do whatever you need to do, and it's good. So that's cool, man. It's good. It's a good skill.
And I knew that I was hanging around a group of gentlemen tonight when no fist fight broke out over the backstraps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very cordial.
Huh? There were only 4 of them.
There were only 4 of them. I'm not saying they lasted long.
No. Those are the good bits.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's talk about
what we're here to talk about.
Our problem. Let me talk about my problem. So let me set the stage here for a minute.
That's really what we're here for, Kevin, is solve your problems.
Yeah. So when we moved to the property that we're at, it's about a little less than 3.5 acres, but it's all maintained. It's not like here. I mean, I think we actually maintain more of our property than you do yours because all of mine is maintained.
Uh-huh.
And you got more property, but a lot of it's you don't have to maintain it the way we do. So, and I know y'all do maintenance, but it's not.
Listen, I put out 200 pounds of rye seed this weekend.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. But anyway, the first year that we were there, I was like, man, I gotta figure out what to do with all these leaves because I don't want it to just create, a bed and then create mold and all kinds of other stuff. So I was like, I gotta figure out what to do. And a lot of people will mulch it and different things like that. Now, there's some really cool. There's a couple of really cool pieces of equipment that I'd really like to have that will mulch it and bag it and do the whole thing. But those are like $3,500,
right?
$4,000. But they're amazing. One of these days, maybe. But first thing I did is I bought a sweeper. And it's it literally is just something you drag behind your mower and it'll sweep up anything. It'll put it in a big hopper and then you can dump it wherever you need to, which is great. It worked fine. But we have a number of sweet gum trees.
All right.
And I'll tell you right now, I hate sweet gum trees. They're terrible.
Uh-huh.
The roots are shallow. They're not great. I mean, if you cut them down, it's not like the best.
It's the worst firewood.
Yeah, it's not good for that even. And they drop their sweet gum balls, and they're everywhere. Yeah. And those spiky things are they're terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you. Did you ever have sweet gum ball fights growing up? No, I didn't either. I know people that did, and I'm like, you're an idiot because those things hurt.
Well, I can't imagine you can throw them very hard to hurt anybody.
Well,
I mean, you have to be pretty close.
Yeah, but I mean, if you get them not long after they fall, you can still throw them pretty good ways. But here's the big problem. So we have a zero-turn lawnmower, and we were having issues in the fall with the really more the winter by the time they actually drop. We were having issues with the belts coming off.
Yeah, those sweet gum balls get up in the belts and knock them off.
That's exactly what happens. Yeah. And I didn't know that was happening. But those things are a booger to put back on, and they're not fun. So
no. Well, especially if the drive.
That's the one that was coming off.
You hope that the blade belt's the one that gets knocked off.
Right, because that's on top. The other one's on the bottom all the way through the back. It's a problem. And so we were having this issue, and I was like, we got to figure out a good way to get rid of these gumballs. And the problem with the sweeper is it literally picks up everything. I mean, it's got those bristles on it, and it literally picks up everything. And then you got it. It's a whole mess. So I went into a deep dive, and I was like, how do I get rid of these sweet gumballs with the least amount of trouble for me?
Sure.
And I came across a product that I was like, holy crap, that's the answer. And if you want to go find it, it's at baganut.com, baganut.com.
Yeah.
And this company has figured out that, so the best way I can describe it without just showing it to you is if you've ever been to a driving range, a golf driving range, the way they pick up the golf balls,
Yeah.
well, with the big wheels on the front of the a golf cart that everybody's like trying to hit. It's like, oh, they're going to get the balls.
Let's
Try to
get
hit
him.
the guy.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. It's a big rolling wheel
Yeah.
that whenever you roll over it, it picks these things up and drops them into a hopper.
Mm-hmm.
So what's interesting is that this company they've got pickers for all kinds of nuts, including and golf balls.
Oh.
Like they have them for golf balls too.
Okay.
But I'll just run through a list of what they have pickers for: acorns, almonds, black walnuts, chestnuts, English walnuts, golf balls, hazelnuts, hickory nuts, macadamias, pecans, pine cones,
Ooh.
sweet gum balls, crab apples, and there's one for other nuts and things.
Other nuts
So-
and things.
Yeah. So,
I really want to know what those are now.
yeah. Well, now that you say, I do too. So I'm gonna go look. But what's really interesting is what they've done is they've basically got there's a grass plug collector. So if you go and do if you aerate and pull
Yeah.
the plugs or whatever,
Yeah.
it'll pick up the grass plugs.
Huh.
Do you know what jojoba beans are? Jojoba beans?
I do not.
I don't either. Olives
Ooh.
and tropical almonds. So let me tell you, I did a deep dive whenever I called them.
Uh-huh.
I was talking to him. I was like, can you explain to me, does this thing actually work? 'Cause
Right.
here's the problem. They have realized that there's got to be a way to pick up these nuts without and sweet gums
Yeah.
and things like that without harming the nuts,
Okay.
because they're producing these things for orchards
Yeah. For harvest.
for harvesting.
Yeah.
And so these are not cheap machines.
Right.
And when I call it a machine, it is a machine, but it's a what word do I use? It's not motorized.
Okay.
I mean, it works by
It's sort of like a rotary grass cutter, but like
yeah.
the
Yeah,
old
exactly.
school, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. But they've got multiple different models.
Okay.
So they've got kinds and they've got different sizes. They've got them all the way down to like a 12-inch wide. They've got an 18-inch wide. And these are push. You push them. And then they've got a 36-inch wide that pushes. And then they've got a 21-inch that has like collapsible crates on it. And it like throws them into a collapsible crate. And then you can stack them.
Yeah.
And then you can take them wherever you need to. So basically you can, because here's the way they work. So whenever the wheel turns, it's got tines that basically plop them into the hopper.
Okay.
And then you got to get rid of you got to dump them once the hopper gets full.
Okay. I was going
Right.
to say it gets full and then you got to stop.
Then you got to stop. And so if the one that has the crate on it, you can literally just take the crate off, drop it,
And
put a
another
new crate on, and keep going, and then come back later and pick up all the crates.
Right.
So, to me, I'm looking at it going, okay, because that you can pull it here. So now let me go back. Now they've got pull behind models. And so it is the most rudimentary connector that you've ever seen. It's literally a metal wire with a carabiner on the end of it.
Okay.
And it's like you just wrap it around anything, and you can put it behind a golf cart, you can put it behind a mower, you can put it behind.
But like
whatever.
Like in your scenario, wouldn't you rather like put it in front
Well, no, not necessarily. This is a great question. Why? Let me ask it. Why are you asking that question?
Because you're running over the sweet gum balls,
Right.
and if you have it out in front, you're going to collect them before it has a chance to get up in your belt.
Well, yes, but there's two ways to look at it. Number one, if you're using a mower, you just don't turn the blades on.
Okay, I see. Okay, yeah.
So if you
I
don't
gotcha.
turn the blades on, then it's not throwing them.
Not a problem. Yeah,
It's
okay,
not a
I
problem.
gotcha. That makes sense.
So you lift up your your deck as far as it'll go, and then you don't have to worry about it. But my honestly, my favorite way to do it was with my golf cart. I could put it on the back of my golf cart and just go.
Well, yeah, because you have one.
Because I have one. If you don't have a golf cart, then obviously the mower is the best way to do it. And the
Don't
zero
you have the other riding mower too.
that one's actually better than the zero turn.
Okay.
Because with the zero turn, you can turn so quickly that if you're not careful, you
flip
could,
it or something.
You
right?
could
Yeah.
flip it, or you could jackknife the thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I've got a tractor right on, and I've used it on that too. But so they've got that model that just literally pulls right behind you. But probably my favorite one is they've got an offset.
Oh.
And so it literally is offset to the side
Okay.
so that you don't run over whatever it is that you're trying to pick up. So that whenever you're harvesting, now you're not running over the pecans or the walnuts or whatever it is and breaking them.
I gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
I mean, but now let's talk price for a minute.
Okay.
Because
I imagine the offset's the most expensive one.
well, of course. But they're all expensive. Okay, so let me tell you how badly I did not want to pick these things up, and figure out how to fix this problem, because the 12-inch push, where literally you're pushing it and you're having to walk behind it. This is for the sweet gum because that's what I purchased. $415.
Okay.
You go up to the 36-inch push, and it's $730, and the pull behind is the same price, $730. Because really, it's a matter of putting a handle up top to push, or putting handle toward the, in a V toward the.
Well, for that amount, it should be it should be interchangeable.
Well, I guess technically you could probably pull it if you wanted to, but.
If it's a push, man, I think I could strap that thing to the front of my zero turn.
Yeah, you might could. It's got to you angle the handle, so yeah, you could probably figure it out. But why would
I
you
know
wanna,
a welder.
Why would you do? I do too. He was at my house the other day putting a new bumper on my trailer, actually.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, but why would you want to push it? Like literally, when you can strap it onto something behind you.
Yeah.
But yeah, $730. But they've also got, and I did go ahead.
But how many? Okay, at 36-inch, how many balls is it picking up before that thing's full?
A bunch.
Like how many? Like if you had to guess.
Oh gosh, 400.
Okay.
I mean, a bunch. It's
I
got
mean, for most people, if you have like 2 or 3 sweet gum trees, that's going to be your entire yard.
Yeah,
Easy.
I mean, yeah. So it's got, if you get the big 36-inch, which is the only size that they've got for the pull behind.
Yeah.
Except if you go with the offset one, it's a 42-inch.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to that one in a minute. But it's got 2 hoppers that you literally just take out, and they're big, man. I mean, they're 18 inches a piece.
Yeah.
So, but they come out really easy. You can dump them. What do you do with them? Well, for me, I just throw them into the woods.
Throw them in the woods?
Yeah. I'm like, well, they'll biodegrade eventually.
I was thinking maybe you just burn them.
Well, I tried that. They do not burn well.
Really?
No. I mean, I'm talking a hot fire. They'll sit there for a while.
Huh.
Yeah. They
They
do not
just
burn
don't
well.
catch or what?
They just do not catch fire.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Because that was my first thing. And I filled up my, I was even putting them in kind of little by little. It was a lot. And as many sweet gums as I've got,
Yeah.
it's
Satan's bean pod. Man.
yeah, it's awful.
Gosh.
It's awful. But I'll tell you
It's worse than
again,
stepping on a Lego.
they're really, really bad. They can do some damage.
Yeah.
But that was the other problem is whenever you're mowing, if you throw those things, you can like break a
some
window.
damage, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's bad. But so what I was doing is I bought like a half dozen 5-gallon buckets, put them in the back of my golf cart, and I was emptying the hopper into the 5-gallon bucket and just leaving it. And I'd go. So it's the same kind of idea.
And I guess you can just bag them and put them out by the street. But
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can definitely do that. Now, the offset, it comes with a different type of hitch. I mean, you're putting it on the back of a tractor or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put it on the back of a lot of different things, but you can put it on the back of a tractor. It also has the collapsible
crates.
that you can, use and all. It's sweet. It's $4,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's $4,000.
Significantly more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
but again,
well more than
now,
3 times their top model on the other end.
Right. But again, if you're buying that thing, you're using business money with it.
Yeah, I think so.
You know?
Like you're harvesting some
lot.
kind of production nut.
Right. And so when I called, I was like, okay, this is not just a whim on Amazon. I'm going to buy a $30 thermostat, right?
Right.
I'm going to have to explain this to my wife, So I called and I talked, let me tell you that they answer the phone. Hey, how's it going? I mean, it's a family company.
Oh, cool.
And
where are they based out of?
That's a great question. They told me, and it's been so long. Oh, Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I lived in there for a spell.
Yeah, you did. But like, it's free shipping over a certain amount, which they're all over a certain amount, and it got there in like 2 days. So it was very quick shipping. And so when I was asking her about it, I was like, okay, like I believe you that it works. I watched quite a few videos, and I was like, this looks like it works. And she said, we have so you can return it within 30 days.
Okay.
But you have to pay the return shipping. And it's big. It's big.
Big piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's a big piece of equipment. And she said, except for the sweet gum balls. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, 30 days or, we'll pay to ship it back. And I was like, why? And she goes, nobody ships it back. She said, it's the one that because if you know anything about sweet gum balls, they hold on.
Yeah.
So she's like, it just works.
Yeah.
She said, nobody has ever shipped one back because if you need it,
yeah,
it kind of works together, because it does. It kind of stabs them and it gets in between the tines or whatever. But they hold on. So I'll tell you, man, it was a lot of fun actually.
How long did it take you to do your whole yard?
My whole yard, which there are certain places where it's thicker than others, and you got to remember, like, this was years of sweet gums that, the grass gets tall and then, but then whenever the grass dies, that's whenever you start seeing them all. I probably did the whole thing in a few hours.
That's not bad.
No. I mean, and honestly, it was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I felt like I was doing the Lord's work, honestly.
Well, so like here's what I'll say about sweet gum trees. When they get big, they're really nice shade trees.
They really are. Yeah.
And when people here in Texas say, you never really get to see the seasons change. If you have a sweet gum tree,
yeah,
you get to see the seasons change.
Yeah, because they do drop everything.
They turn orange. They turn real pretty reds.
Yep.
I mean, like you get a leaf.
Yep.
So
and they're a nice size leaf. I mean, they're not big,
yeah.
but they're kind of round. I mean,
so there's that.
Yeah.
When they get bigger, they can become brittle.
Yeah,
and a little bit dangerous because
they'll get hollow.
Yeah,
they'll hollow themselves out when they start dying.
Yeah,
and you won't know.
Right, but they're also notorious for putting out because, like you said, they had shallow roots.
Yeah,
they'll put out new growth on those roots.
Right,
and that's when you can kind of get in trouble.
Yep.
But they'll grow new trees really quick too.
They will.
I mean,
they grow
not,
fast.
They're not as fast as the China berries that we have here.
Sure.
Which those are notorious for like eating up fence rows and things like that. I kind of go back and forth as to whether or not I'd rather have a pine tree or a sweet gum tree.
Yeah, they're both.
If I had to choose, I'd probably go with the sweet gum.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, especially if you had one of these things, man. Like,
well, yeah,
because now it was expensive. I'm not shying away from the cost.
Sure,
but if you need something like that, it's worth it.
Yeah.
In fact, the other thing that I purchased, so it's $65, but they've got a handheld little stabber. and it's I don't know how big it is. It's probably maybe 5 by 7
Okay.
inch, and it's got the same tines on it. You just pick it up, and it's got a little spring loaded thing that just pops them out.
Oh,
So here's the reason that's helpful.
smaller areas where you can't get that thing into.
Yep, where
Okay.
you can't roll, like right up against the tree, even.
Yeah.
You know, where you can't just roll over that area, or if you've got a building next to it or anything like that. But you still need to pick them up. I mean, this thing you literally just go pop, 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 and then
Yeah.
spring load the thing into a 5-gallon bucket, and you're good to go. It has been a game changer.
How often
for
are you
us.
having to do it?
Well, so far it's just once a year.
Just once a year?
Yeah, and you just yeah, we'll see. I mean, because I only did it the one time, but it was I was at my wit's end at that point. But I don't know. My guess is that I'll probably have to do it kind of once they start dropping. It'll be a few weeks, and I'll probably do it a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
If you do it a little bit here and there, it won't take as long. You can probably get out there in 30, 45 minutes and just run over a bunch of them, and you're good to go.
Because that's like one of my kids' least favorite chores right now. I've got the pasture broken up into like 5 different quadrants. even
Okay.
though that's 4. I understand.
Yeah.
Please. But anyway, 5 sections. Fine. But they have to go out and cut all the scrub trees down.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like we do the fence rows, but then we
Uh-huh.
also have like all the scrub trees that get in the pasture.
Ugh,
And I just have them go cut them down.
yeah.
Because there's some spots like where I can't get the tractor in
Sure.
between stuff, and it's like just kids go out there and chop them down.
Right.
It's good for you.
Yeah, they hate
You
it.
can tell all of your children how horrible your dad was when
That's
you were
right.
older, and that they don't have to go do that.
That's
kind of
right.
stuff, although they'll probably make their kids do it too.
That's true. Well, I'm sitting here thinking like there's going to come a point where my son is old enough to like have his own truck, maybe a trailer. I'll be son, take that thing and go make money.
Heck yeah.
Because you know how much. I mean, it would be fun for him to get out on drive a golf cart with that thing pulled behind it, and he could spend an hour or less at someone's house and charge him $100 all day
easy.
all day long.
Yeah. Is it an electric golf cart?
Yeah,
Even better.
yeah.
Not having to buy gas.
Not having to buy gas. Yeah, and so, man, I think it. I think that if you are,
Did you tell Mike Faust about this the other day?
no,
No, you should have. I bet you
No.
he'd get a kick out of it.
yeah, I probably would. I didn't even think about it, but I don't know why I thought about it the other day. Whenever we were literally sitting here going, "What are we gonna do if a show over?" I was like, "We never did anything about this." But if you have an issue with sweet gum or any like, I mean, if I grew up in West Texas, I mean, there's a bunch of pecan trees out there. And like if you got, I mean, there's small versions of it. So if you're one of those people that you've got a
I mean, I've seen one of like the
Rollerball things?
rollerball things to pick up pecans.
those
I mean, that's
and those work pretty well.
Yeah.
because they're a uniform shape and they work pretty well. But man, this would be so much easier. I mean, it's an investment,
yeah.
but it'd be a lot easier.
That is one of the if I can ever get the time to clear out a bunch of these scrub pine trees, I'd love to plant some pecan
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Oh yeah, they're a great tree.
Well, I wouldn't cut a few branches off and smoke a brisket.
That's what I'm saying. They're a great tree. But anyway, I'll link it up in the show notes. Again, there's not a whole lot else we can say about it other
Right.
than it works.
Yeah,
I
there
mean,
you go. Check it out for yourself.
Yeah, check it out for yourself.
Call old Jacksonville and get one
Yeah.
out to your property.
Yeah.
I mean, because around here, man, I mean, like they're. I mean, like that's the thing is they are. They're a pretty tree.
They are.
I mean, again, like make me choose between that and a pine tree. I'm probably going to pick the sweet gum.
Yeah.
Just because of the look of them.
Yep.
And better shade.
Well, way better shade.
So I don't know how long sweet gums last though.
I don't either.
I know they don't. They probably don't last as long as oaks.
Probably not as long as pine trees either.
Maybe not. I don't know. That'd be a good little tidbit of trivia to look up.
Yeah.
We don't have time right now, but
No.
but anyway, like I'm probably gonna pick that tree.
Yeah.
But like and knowing that I'm gonna have to deal with the sweet gum ball thing.
Well, but
So
again,
I mean, and for guys like me, like that's one of the worst things you can do is to pick up your horse's foot and find a sweet gum ball stuck in it.
Absolutely.
And that's not uncommon.
I'm sure.
And that can't be comfortable for them.
No.
I mean, like, they're not going to complain because they're awesome and they're horses.
I mean,
but
people that don't know what a sweet gumball is, go look it up. But you know what a grass burr is.
yeah.
It is a grass burr the size of a golf
Steroids.
ball.
Yeah.
It is a grass burr the size of a golf ball. And yeah, they're bad. I mean, I can see how a horse, I mean, what is he? He didn't know.
Yeah.
He's
And
walking.
She gets wedged up in there.
He's like, I'm walking here. Like, come on, man. Yeah. So
There's got to be something you can do with those things. I wonder what would happen if you threw them like down a wood chipper,
that would be interesting.
like just like a basket of them.
Like a shredder.
yeah,
That might. I mean,
that
yeah.
might not make some bad mulch.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. If it might. I mean, you could convince me to go buy a chipper at that point. Like,
There's another
know?
YouTube rabbit hole for me.
yeah, no doubt. But anyway, I would highly recommend this thing.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this: when my wife saw what the yard looked like afterwards, she was like, "Okay, it was worth it." She didn't have to do it, but
yeah.
and that was the thing is like you don't have to do it.
Uh-huh.
You're not the one out there trying to figure out what to do with all these gumballs. And here's where the rubber met the road on the price. I got to the point where it was so much trouble to fix the belt.
The belt, yeah.
That was calling someone out to do it.
Yeah, no, it's a pain in the butt,
And
man.
and it was costing me $100
Yeah.
to get someone out to do it. And then you're out. You don't have a mower at that point.
Yeah.
You can't move it. And so, I mean, you literally can't move it.
Yeah.
And so it's in the middle of the yard till the guy comes out, he fixes it. It's $100. And I'm like, it's 7 trips before I've got paid for one of these,
yeah.
and now we've got a different mower. We bought a different mower. It would probably do something different now because I've got a commercial mower now. It's probably a little bit different. But I can guarantee if that belt comes off on a commercial mower, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking any chances.
No. I've gotten pretty good at putting that thing back on. I still
Really?
hate it every time it happens.
It's awful.
Because it's usually nowhere near my shop
Right.
when it happens.
Nope.
And then you got to pop it's not even worth it to pop it into neutral and try and drag it out. It's like, let's just go get the stupid tools and drag it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a pain. It's
So.
just a pain.
But
So.
I've gotten pretty good at it. I hate it. It's the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Give
It's
me a
terrible.
flat tire any day of the
Right. Yes. Well, that's easy. Flat
Yeah.
tire, that's easy.
week.
All you got to do is
New
take some
tire
lug.
or inflate it.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Or just take the lugs off and put it back on. But no, I don't know. Plus, I feel like whenever I have to put that thing back on, I'm going to lose some knuckles
Oh, probably.
with that tensioner and everything.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm going to kill myself.
So here's what I'll tell you, man. I went with airless tires on the front end
Oh, did
of
you?
my zero turn, and
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with airless on the rear ones. Have
All
you seen
right.
those?
I have.
Those things are cool.
I see them most often on like John Deere's.
I
more
see them on
than
all kinds of different
Do you-
mowers. Yeah.
They look they look like something you'd find on like a
Tesla?
toy. Well, but like a toy is what I think of.
Okay.
Like, just because the way they're made.
Like the mesh kind of look.
Yeah, they got that mesh look to
Yeah.
it. But I don't have airless tires on the front of mine, but I think that would be good.
Yeah, it's not. They're just. I don't even know what they're made of, but like
Okay.
I don't have to worry about going flat anymore.
Yeah.
So like, beat the crap out of them. I don't care.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, man, you got any more questions? Are we good?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to today's episode. We appreciate you very much. And if you haven't already, please go to our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. Give us a like and a subscribe. And over on the Apple Podcast, actually, there's a lot of places you can leave us a rating and review.
Yeah, just wherever.
But anywhere you can, man. It really, really helps the show. And we would appreciate it very much. Until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.